We want to welcome a special guest. I feel even more special because he's one of my alumni, and I'm so happy to watch this brother grow from the time that we were all introduced to him from that historic Jackie Robinson West team that took it all the way to the Little League World Series, man. So we want to welcome to the soil our brother, Ed Howard.
What's going on? Thank y'all for having me on. Let's talk. Let's do something.
Yes, sir, man. Welcome on the soil, Ed, man. Thank you so much for giving us the time of day because we know, in these current times, everybody's kind of exhausted right now, man. So
Yeah.
I guess that's where we want to start. Coming into your senior season, we were looking forward to you putting a bow on your high school career. We know now that due to the COVID-19 pandemic that didn't happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you add on the fact that everything that's going on right now regarding the reaction to the George Floyd situation in Minneapolis. Man, I would love to hear your perspective on how you've been coping with current times and how you've been reacting and adjusting, your regiment to, the new normal, as we've been calling it.
Yeah, I know, man. It's been a crazy year. Who would have thought my senior year, would have got canceled. And, senior year is one of the years you look forward to. It's usually the best year. I was excited to go out there and just kind of show my talents and just play and have fun. But it's crazy. I really don't know what to think. Even currently, going on around the world, it's a crazy time right now. So I just try to stay focused on what I can control, and that's just getting in my work daily. And when things open back up, I'll be ready to get back on the field and get back to playing.
Speaking on that, getting your work in daily,
Right.
like Terrence said, I'm pretty sure everything has changed since the COVID-19 situation. You basically missing your whole high school season, which, in my opinion, it was kind of a gift and a curse if you want to look at it that way. Because as far as it being a gift, in your upcoming draft status, basically the teams didn't have a senior season for them to go off of, just to say maybe if you didn't have as good of a season as you did last year. But now not having a season at all, they basically just got to go on what they were going off of last year. So give us a day in the life of Ed Howard now with the COVID situation versus before when you just had your regularly scheduled program.
Yeah, so before, I was going to school every morning, getting my workouts in the evening, and then the season was about to start up. So, I was having practices after school and playing games and things like that. But since this coronavirus, kind of shut everything down, I got some equipment put in my basement to kind of get like my workouts in the morning, and I would just hop on Zoom with my trainer, and we would get after it every morning, and then in the evening I would go out to the field and play catch or ground balls, take DP, just do baseball related things in the evening. So I've been getting in my work, this whole time since we've been off. But it's definitely been different. Everything's just been isolated, just doing everything by myself.
Absolutely, man. And I feel like this conversation has been given a platform really with The Last Dance. Over a couple of weeks ago, MJ, his stance on political issues was a big topic of conversation. You know what I mean? And I feel like as a black baseball player, you're going to be faced with some of those same questions, in the near future as you go to the next level. So from your perspective, how do you feel athletes should handle these times? Do you think that you have an obligation to lend your voice to what's going on right now?
I do. I think especially as I get older and kind of get back on the stage and platform, I do feel like my opinion and my voice can be heard. I have the status to kind of let that be heard. But I feel like athletes, if it's something that they believe in, that they stand for, I think they should, be open about it and let people know. Because they have that status, a lot of people look up to them, a lot of people follow them, and I think they should, be more than just like an athlete. So I think they should, stand up for what they believe in.
Speaking on that, we've seen a guy like Tim Anderson, who you have basically shown love to as one of the guys that you looked up to. He's done a great job of not letting the nuance and the history of baseball being basically a white man's sport,
Right.
get in the way or interfering with who he is as a person and who he's going to be on the baseball field and off of the baseball field. So, I mean, I think that's a good lead to follow. Whereas, you know, me and Terrence, you know, he covers the Sox, I cover the Cubs. So I got a chance to talk to a guy like Addison Russell, who was really having a tough time. I mean, even though he played pretty well most of his time up, he was having a hard time basically being himself. I talked to him and he basically told me that he wanted to run out on the field and do backflips like Ozzie Smith did. Remember, are you familiar with Ozzie? So
yeah,
I'm sure you are. You're a shortstop, so you know the history.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he was having a problem because he wanted to do that, but he was having a problem with how he would be looked at, you know, personally. So it kind of low key, it affected, you know, him on the field and off. So how do you kind of gauge that and take a look at a guy like Tim Anderson and not hesitate to reach out to him if you need some advice on, you know, how to handle yourself once you get to the top?
Right. I think that's one of the best things about Tim. You know, just how he's himself. You know, he never changed for who he's around. You know, he's himself, and that's what made him who he is. You know, that's why I feel like so many people gravitate towards him, because he goes out there, he plays the game hard, he has fun, but he's himself. You know, and that's some of the things he preached to me. You know, just never changing. You know, everybody. You know, the reason I'm in the situation I'm in right now is because, you know, I've always been me. And I think as I get to the next stage, whether that's pro ball or college, you know, I feel confident in myself, and I'm just always be me. And that's one of the things he preaches, and I really believe in that. And I think what you were saying about Addison Russell, I think he should just be him. If people learn to accept him for who he is, and that's kind of how I feel like you can just like kind of blow up, be in that spotlight, but always be yourself.
Absolutely. No, so let's go ahead and move on and talk about the situation that you're in today, since you kind of led to it. Man, the MLB draft is going to be taking place a week from today, June 10th and 11th. And, you know, if you've been under a rock, you know what I mean? I'm sure you guys know that you're one of the top prospects in the draft coming up. Can you talk about what that process has been like for you? Has it been everything that you imagined that it would be?
It has. You know, it's an exciting time right now. Like you said, it's a week away. I'm excited to see how it all plays out. Like a lot of people are. You know, when draft night comes, you know, I'll be sitting here trying to see what team, you know, decides to pick me, just like everybody else. So I'm definitely excited to see that. And I mean, it's a busy time. You know, a lot going on. You know, a lot of Zoom calls, a lot of talks with teams and things like that. But you know, I'm just enjoying the process. You know, I'm only gonna go through it one time, so I'm enjoying it, and then excited to see what happens on the 10th.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, what have the talks been like with the teams, and have you talked to all of them? And has any specific team told you that you're their guy?
So I've talked to pretty much all of them, and most of the talks are just trying to get to know me as a person, you know, off the field. You know, they've seen all my talent and seen me play all summer, so now it's just about getting to know me. And for the most part, you know, as far as like teams, you know, telling me that I'm their guy, they kind of stay away from that. You know, they talk to my advisors a lot about things like that, and like signability questions and all that. So that's kind of stuff I kind of let them worry about. You know, me, I just kind of focus on getting my workout in and just staying ready. You know, that's what I do well. I go out there and play. So that's kind of what I focus on. So I'm just eager to see what happens on the 10th too.
Yeah, man. That basically goes along with the question I wanted to ask you, which is, you know, what is the message that you want to make sure that the teams know about Ed Howard? You know what I mean? As far as the type of player and person that you are.
Yeah, I mean, I really believe like I'm a good person on the field and off the field. I think you're gonna get a great talented player, but you also gonna get a great person off the field. You know, somebody who can be a face of an organization. That's truly how I feel. And like I said, I'm real hard working, and I always felt like I'm just a winner. I like to win. You know, I'm gonna go out there and do whatever I can to win, and be a leader at the shortstop position. You know, it's a premier position, so I take pride in playing it at a high level, and just let the teams know, you know, I'm gonna be talented on the field and off the field, you know, offensively and defensively. So just that's pretty much it right there.
Man, can you let the people know, or let us know as well, who are some of the people and some of the athletes that you look up to coming up, and what obligation do you think that you have now being in those shoes, possibly?
Right. So one of the athletes, everybody knows Tim Anderson. I'll use him for an example. He's a guy that I kind of look up to right now. I get to watch him every day go out there and play at the big league level, and he's kind of leading the way, setting an example for me. And I'm kind of getting into that situation where it's a lot of younger kids that's looking up to me. So I kind of use Tim as an example. The way he treats me, the way he goes about his business, for the way I should treat younger kids. Guys who look after me, guys who hit me up on social media and things like that. Just taking the time out to reach back out to them and just show everybody like I'm human. Through hard work, you can pretty much achieve anything you want. So I definitely think getting to talk to like Tim Anderson a lot really helped me understand how I can be beneficial to younger kids under me.
Yeah. Man, Ed, one of the things that is always on my mind, and I feel like it's always on the people's mind as well. Anytime you talk about Black athletes, is what they had to overcome in order to get to where they are. You know what I mean? For you, what have been some of the biggest hurdles, that you had to overcome in order to get to where you are today? I mean, I'm wondering, was it ever a moment where you thought that you wouldn't get here?
I wouldn't say it was a moment where I doubted myself, but I went through some hurdles. I learned a big life lesson at like 13 years old, Little League World Series situation. We went down there, we played, and a few months later they took the title away. They took us out the history books, and I was 13 years old, and I was getting a lot of hate comments and things like that on social media. So it kind of opened my eyes, at a real young age. Just if anything, I feel like it just taught me to always stay level-headed, keep working, because just as many people can love you, when you're at the top, when you fall, the haters and people can come with the negative comments as well. So if anything, it just showed me to just keep pushing. No matter how successful I get or what I achieve, I'll always be me. I always keep working and keep pushing for higher goals.
You mentioned staying level headed and to continue to keep pushing.
Right.
I think Mount Carmel did a great job of installing some of those things in me. So I know you coming, 20 plus years down the line, and as much as things have progressed, I'm pretty sure that they've instilled some of those things in you. So talk about, your career at MC and give me your most memorable moment. I'll probably outside of graduating, but your most memorable moment as a Carmelite.
Yeah, MC, that's a great school, man. I truly feel I chose the best school to go to for my 4 years of high school. And just being around, all the faculty at MC, and even like Coach Eric, my head coach. I've been knowing him since I was in sixth grade, and just getting around him and seeing the way he goes about his business. He's a guy that'll keep you level headed. He's a grinder. That's the word I use for him. He always talks about putting in the work. Focusing on the moment and doing what you can do right now to improve. Getting better each and every day. And I feel like that was like on the baseball field and also like as a person. I feel like they taught me a lot about kind of being a man. We always talk about being a man of Carmel, and they really show you that at the school. So it's a great school, and one of my best moments. I mean, it would have to be probably on the baseball field. Probably my sophomore year. We had a really good team that year. A lot of good seniors, and I can just remember one game against St. Lawrence. We were in the 10th inning, and they hit a grand slam off of us. So they was up by 4 in the top of the 10th, and they was thinking about calling the game because it was getting dark outside. And I just remember going back in the dugout, and Coach Harry gave us the talk about how we grind is and we never quit. And everybody thinks this game's over because it's already dark outside and we down by 4, 5-10. And we load the bases and hit a grand slam. And we walked that game off in the 10th inning, scoring 5 runs in the bottom of the 10th. And I think that's just like a representation of how Carmel is, just hard work and just never, no quitters. And that's just how I feel about Carmel.
No, it's always dope to hear when you have the people that you need in your corner, man. I would love to hear you speak on your support system, and the people behind the scenes that make sure that you're on point, because we all know that sometimes we need that extra push,
Yeah. So for me, it's my family. My family is real supportive. Both of my parents. they've always supported me with my sports. You know, getting me to every game I need to get to, getting me the equipment I need. My two sisters, you know, they go out there and they sit in the cold and they watch me and they know a lot about the game of baseball too. So this whole family is a big support system. And then another guy is my god brother, James Davison. You know, I've been training with him since I started. You know, being at 8 years old, and he was a guy that I feel like he saw the potential in me before I even saw it. You know, I was 12 years old, and he was always talking about, you know, what I can do and how I'm gonna be when I get older and things like that. And I just kind of kept working, and he's a guy that's been in my corner ever since. You know, still to this day, I go out and get work in with him. And another person that I really feel like is in my corner is my trainer, Jason Griffin. You know, I met him my 8th grade year. And I've been working with him since my freshman year of high school. And he's a guy that I became really close to. You know, he helped me physically get my body to where it needs to be. And we get a lot of work in. You know, I'm around him all the time. He's a guy that I can talk to, you know, about baseball and even things off the field. You know, so I definitely feel like a support system is real important. And I think I got a pretty good one, you know, with my family and those two that I mentioned. So I definitely feel good with that support system around me.
Yeah, man, you got support all around. Our last episode of On the Soil, we had Jason Hayward, Cubs outfielder Jason Hayward, and you know he was a first round pick as well. So we asked him if he had, you know, any advice he could offer you,
Right.
and you know this is what he had to say.
I can hear you now, yes, sir.
All right. Your screen is black, but if that's cool with you, we can go ahead and keep it going for the last couple minutes.
Yeah, no, that works for me. Let's send it. But Gino was talking about the shortstop that y'all had #1 in the nation.
Yeah, he's the #1 shortstop in the nation, Ed Howard. He's slated to be a top 20 pick. So his life is going to change as soon as he gets that call from the front office on draft day. So what advice do you have for a kid like that? And like I said, with you being a first round pick and going through the motions and having to spend a few years in the minor leagues before you got your first shot, what advice do you have for a kid like Ed Howard?
First and foremost, you know, first of all, congratulations, and I hope, you know, wish him nothing but the best, right? But I got to tell him that he needs to be ready for anyone and anything around him to make it hard for him to make it where he wants to be. So don't think people are just going to hand it to him now that he's, you know, going to be a first rounder potentially or whatever it is. You know, once he gets drafted, once he has some money, you know, once he has, you know, a responsibility, once he has expectation, he's going to be a prospect. There are going to be a lot of people in a lot of positions that can either help him or hurt him. And unfortunately, he's going to have to realize that most of those people are not going to be ready to help him. They're going to be looking out for themselves. They're going to be wanting to put food on the table for their families. And they're going to want to wake up every day feeling better about their jobs. So he's got to be ready to do his damn thing. You know what I'm saying? Like at no point can he feel like, okay, you know, I made it here. You know, I made it to this level. Now we're good. I made it to this next level. Now we're good. You know, I'm just going to be able to go out here and do my thing, and it's going to be a beautiful day. No one's going to interrupt me. That's the exact opposite. Is, you know, just because we get higher and higher in our industry, I'm sure you guys can see it, man. There's always hoops and ladders you got to jump through. There's always people you have to be ready to say, hey, I got my guard up, and to a certain sense of, you know, I'm gonna stay in the moment right here. I'm gonna be prepared to get my best, and I'm gonna be prepared to keep that chip on my shoulder and never let that chip go, because you always gonna need that. But outside of that, just be patient. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with the process. Enjoy the process, and don't ever get complacent where you are.
Jay, hey, man.
I like that. I appreciate him first off saying that, you know, just coming on here and giving me some words of advice. But I agree with what he's saying. You know, I don't think it's gonna be a cakewalk for me. You know, I don't expect anybody to give me anything. You know, everything I've gotten to this point, I feel like I worked for it. You know, I feel like I earned everything I got. So I'm definitely gonna keep my head down and keep working. And I know it's gonna be a lot of ups and downs, but I'm ready to face them. You know, I feel like I've been through adversity before. You know, it's nothing new to me. So you know, I'm kind of ready, and I'm stay patient and keep grinding it, and we'll see how this goes. So.
Man, and like Gene said before, we played that J. Hay clip. You certainly have support all over this city. You know what I mean? When you were 13, you made this city, you know, so proud. You know what I mean? And we're definitely rooting for you as you go on to the next level. We've been, you know, a lot of people have been wondering what's going on with Ed Howard. What's going on with Ed Howard? I've been lucky to be tuned in with Gene, who's, of course, a Mount Carmel alum and who's been plugged into your career, you know, at Mount Carmel, man. And I just can't, you know, I can't tell you how excited I am to see you flourish on that next level. You know that we're rooting for you on that next level. I know your support system is not going to let you down, and I know that you're going to put in the work, Ed. So, you know, the only thing I want to say to you is keep putting on, you know, for the city, keep putting on for yourself and your family. You know, I'm looking forward to watching you live out your dreams, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. I definitely feel the love, and I'm always work hard. I'm gonna keep going, and we're gonna go to the top. You know, my goal is playing the big leagues. It never was to just play in the minor leagues. You know, the draft would be my opportunity, you know, to start that career, and I'm gonna keep pushing until, you know, until I can play in the big leagues, you know, for a long time. So definitely, thank you.
Yeah, these unfortunate situations over the last couple months kind of put a damper into the plans that we had going forward, the things we talked about when we met up last time. But we definitely gonna work around that, and we still gonna put something together, man. So be looking out for that. I'll be in touch with Pops. But just to echo what Terrence said, man, we definitely, you know, we love you as one of the brothers. We've enjoyed watching you come up, and this is just the beginning, man. So I'm looking forward to hearing your name, hopefully in the top 5, if not definitely in the top 15 on June 10th. And you know the hashtag, man. We are MC, the man of 6410.
Yep.
I'm proud of you, brother. So stay up, man. Keep pushing. Put on for the brothers, put on for the city, but more importantly, put on for yourself and your family, man. So much love to you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and we definitely keep in touch. Sure.
Love, bro.
Yeah, man. Take care.
You too.
Yeah.